For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
This is not America. Sha-la-la-la-la. Little piece of you.
Hey, welcome to Talking Truth to Power. This is your host, Brendan Trainor. I'm here with Leland, Faegre, and we have Brian behind the board.
Brian's
right,
on the board, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, well, you know, we talked last week about how Google Maps is marking the place where President Brandon fell off his bike.
Brandon Falls?
Yeah, so
Delaware, right?
yeah. So the new thing is people are going there and they're falling off their bikes.
I
They're
see.
pulling up just like he did.
Well, it's the fairest form of flattery. Is that the expression?
Oh, gosh. And
By the way, the Fed has just now hiked interest rates by 75 basis points.
just
So,
now.
just
Okay,
now.
yeah. I thought they were going to try to do that.
And
You know,
it sounds
Russia-
like we have more accidents on the freeway here.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that section yet, but you know, the Russian central banks is lowering its interest rates to 8%.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're doing everything the opposite
Instead of what we are.
because the purpose is to so alter the United States that it can
Yeah.
be comfortably merged with that of the rest of the world. That's
Yeah.
what this is.
Yeah. I
about.
understand. We have to have the World Economic Forum leadership take us to this new plateau.
Olaf Scholz.
Olaf Scholz.
Well, our in-studio audience like that.
So in other news, President Brandon got the coof
Yeah, you did.
this week. You know,
But he came out of it today, right?
yeah, he says he's out of it now.
Yeah.
But
His staff just applauded
yeah,
their sincerity.
so
with
he
his-
was vaxxed and he was 4-time boosted. But you know what he used to say about
you couldn't get it. if
Yeah,
you
you
were
could
vaxxed.
get it. It's a disease of the unvaccinated.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's no longer the case.
Not only is it no longer the case, but now we know that the effects of the condition, of the COVID condition, are worse under those who are vaccinated than for those who are not vaccinated.
And also, there's studies
Oh,
showing.
look at the accidents at the spaghetti bowl.
Some studies now are showing that the vaccinated are more likely to get it.
Yep.
But you know what they say, and I got to say it. If it wasn't for the vax, it would have been worse.
You have to say it. You have to say it. Well, it's pretty simple, really. It reduces your natural immunity. That's what the
Yeah.
vaccine does.
Yeah.
So, George Carlin has that great clip, where he says that he grew up in New York and swam in the
In the East River.
in the East River. And- oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's a great little clip. We should put. I think I actually sent it. See if Brian
All
can
right.
find that on. We can use it later.
And then the French lady,
Which French lady?
Corinne
Oh yeah.
Jean-Lapierre.
Yeah.
She crashed the internet where she said that even though Biden got the coof, reporters were asking where did he get it. She says it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter where I got it. Yeah.
So all that contact tracing,
Because
we
it's
don't-
global. See?
Yeah, we don't have to worry about all that anymore.
It's all part of their global design.
And then Dr. Deborah Blix, remember her?
Yeah.
She was always on stage with Dr. Fauci.
She admitted that it wouldn't work.
Yeah, we maybe we oversold the effectiveness of the vaccine.
Actually, I think it was worse than that. I think she said she admitted she knew it fully well it wasn't going to work. Studio audience didn't like that one.
No. And Jimmy Dore has a video out there where he interviewed the doctor that wrote the John Hopkins study. That said that the lockdowns did not save lives but caused damage. And he pointed the finger at the London Imperial College of Medicine. He said they always exaggerate morbidity rates. But They're the only ones that, dared to question.
Jimmy Dore comes up with it.
Yeah, Jimmy
Of
Dore
all
interviewed
sources.
him. Yeah.
Because if you want the truth on these kinds of things, you
Yeah.
go to Jimmy Dore.
A pothead comedian in his garage knows more than these experts.
He's got a nice little set in his garage, though. It's a nice little set.
It is. Now we have another endemic
Yep.
coming.
You
Yes.
talk about the monkeypox?
Yeah, the World Health Organization declared monkeypox a world emergency, even though a majority of scientific advisors recommended against doing it.
Oh, hell no.
Well-
So the CDC immediately recommends that everybody wear butt masks to avoid catching and spreading infections.
Well, they know these things.
Yeah.
They understand. The thing of it is that they're setting up their election strategy. That's what this is all about.
Yeah. But on the other hand, the ultra-left several woke columnists, say Biden is a white supremacist for working while he was sick. That's a
Really?
trait of white supremacy.
Well, I think I've worked in the past when I was sick.
Well, you're a white supremacist. You have to be, the only way to do it was he had to hang out on a street corner and drink malt liquor. Then he wouldn't have been a white
Then he wasn't
supremacist.
a white supremacist. I see. I'm taking notes.
We choose truth over facts.
It's a clown show, isn't it?
Yes,
It's just
it
complete
is.
up and down. It's just a clown show
Putin is watching this and he's saying these people are insane.
for the amusement. Yeah, for the entertainment. Well, we are too.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, that's what this show is about. It's the Babylon Bee of radio.
Yeah. Now, in other news about the presidency, Donald Trump promised to slash 50,000 federal jobs.
Did you hear the champagne cork that blew off my bottle when I heard that? That's what he should have done the last time.
I know.
He was being too nice with these people.
I know he was. Yeah. And Colonel McGregor's got some videos out there in which he comments about that. He blames Mattis, among other people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For subverting his presidency. And he didn't, he has these good instincts, but in this first term, he didn't have the courage. Everybody kept telling him, you can't do that. You can't do that. The Democrats will, jump on you.
By all accounts, and I think it was Hannity, among others, that said that he was just trying to play nice with these people, thinking they would come around.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen.
No.
Unable to listen to the whole show, a recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to Talking Truth to Power. I'm your host, Brendan Trainor. I'm here with Faegre. And the EU continues to form a Polish firing squad and knock each other off.
They do?
Yeah.
Is it circular?
Yeah, circular
Okay.
firing squad. Yeah, that's what it is.
That sounds good to me.
In Italy, the globalist Italian Prime Minister Draghi, his government fell
Yeah,
in the last couple of weeks.
Doesn't it portend that it will grow? It will. The trend is there for the rest of the continent.
The new coalition will probably be more pro-Russian, as they say. Now, in Germany, Chancellor Olaf Scholz, he has a sex scandal. He attended a party. It's not clear whether it was his party or what, but he was there. 8 women claimed they were given date rape drugs at a party he attended.
Huh.
So
God.
somebody
Lying dog-faced pony soldier.
We're led by insane people.
somebody let Bill Cosby out of prison, I guess.
He was the mentor, I guess.
Yes. Now, President Orban, on the other hand, he spoke truth to power.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He lectured the EU. He says Europe is alone because Latin America, Africa, Asia care more about their own people than the values of the European Union.
The collective union.
Yes. So the big deal is the EU has this plan. I think it's already falling apart as we speak, to have every country reduce their fuel consumption
Yeah.
by 15% and pool the savings.
I think it's more than that.
Well, at least 15%. Yeah.
Maybe it was natural gas. I heard.
All right.
That could be as much as 50%.
Wow. And now the smaller countries see this as a ploy to get more gas to the big boys, primarily Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And Germany is not very popular because when times are good for Germany and the other little countries are asking for help, Germany often
Not there.
refuses. No. We don't want to help you. So, but the thing is, like Portugal says, they only import 10% of their gas from Russia. All the rest comes from North Africa. Why should they give 15% back?
Whoops. Whoops. They probably didn't think of that.
No. So that's collective punishment.
Uh-huh.
And then
How do you like your union now,
Yeah,
Portugal?
exactly. Then EU issued put online a graphic, advisory with a picture, of a person like you see on a bathroom stall, like
Yeah, right.
only wash in 4 places. Now, my Irish mother used to call that a sponge bath. Did you ever?
I've
hear
heard
that
the
phrase?
expression. Sure.
Yeah.
It's what you would take if you were hospitalized, for example.
Yes,
Yeah.
example. So wash under the armpits, the groin, and on the face. And Putin put out a video just laughing at the whole.
Are we the baddie?
John Bolton, he admits to orchestrating coups. He
did.
admitted he worked on the coup against Venezuela that failed.
He said they worked very hard.
Very hard.
on
Yes,
them,
spent
yeah.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No, it isn't.
It isn't easy orchestrating a coup.
And in Syria, they are on both sides
Yes,
of the civil war.
yeah.
Figure that one out.
Now, Tapper, who was interviewing Bolton, and he happens to be a Jewish neocon, or do I repeat myself? He just
you
nodded. No follow-up questions. Bolton.
Yeah, don't you love that?
Yeah.
When they seem to acknowledge it but don't say anything.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was a bombshell
It was something-
revelation.
yeah, he couldn't
no
talk
probe,
about
nothing.
it.
No. Then Bolton later said that people who didn't like his coups are snowflakes.
He didn't use white supremacists?
No, he
okay.
said they're snowflakes. Finland is going to build a wall on its 1,300-mile border with Russia, but they suddenly think that a wall will keep the Russian military out. They're going to convert it from a livestock fence, with wires, to a real wall. But Russia hasn't invaded Finland since 1939 and has no intention of. So it's all just
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work.
no. But the thing is, Sweden publicly admitted that if they join NATO, they could reduce their defense budget from 4% to 2%.
Because we're ponying up for them.
Because we're paying for
Yeah.
it. Exactly. It's just another grip.
Unbelievable. Biden's all in on that.
Yes, he is. Well, I guess we could go right to the Ukraine.
Figuratively.
Figuratively.
Yeah.
I've been there. I wish I could go back, even though it's
Oh, I didn't know that. You
Yeah,
were there?
I've been to the Ukraine.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's never come up.
Oh, I
in
think
the
I
ne-
bragged about it. It was a couple of years ago.
Well, I know you went to Russia.
yeah.
I didn't know you went to the Ukraine.
Yeah, I spent time in Kiev too.
Oh, interesting.
Who's mad? Who's mad? Who's mad? Who's mad?
Well, the hoes that are mad are in the EU, so
Yeah.
and also Zelensky or Elensky, because they outlawed the letter Z because Russia paid
Yeah, right.
Z on their tanks. So,
Mhm.
but
How do you pronounce it now without the Z?
Elensky,
Elinsky?
or you could just say Goldberg.
Nope.
Because Goldberg is
The Russian
Russian
version
for-
of Zelensky, yes. The English version of Russian translation. Putin is imitating old Abe Lincoln. He's issuing an emancipation proclamation without controlling the whole country like Lincoln did during the
Oh,
Civil War.
hell no.
He's offering Russian passports to any Ukrainian,
Yeah, I saw that.
including those outside of Russian-occupied areas. So it'll be like a kind of referendum on the invasion.
A public relations
Yeah,
move as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Ukraine immediately says they're going to punish any of those in their territory that get a Russian passport. So we're going to see a lot more pictures of people being taped to traffic poles in the Ukraine, you know, with their pants pulled down and beaten and all that good stuff. But can you imagine what is the West going to do? But if by the end of August, what are they going to do when they have this referendum and people are driving cars and honking and flying Russian flags and cheering? How are they going to suppress that?
That's a good question.
You know the thing.
I'm not sure they know.
Yep. Ukraine and Russia signed a grain export deal. So the first agreement actually lifted the sanctions on the Russian export of grains because the EU is sanctioning the banks and the shipping exporters. So, and that'll be monitored by the UN. The second agreement allows for Russian-Ukrainian cooperation to start exporting grain from Odessa. And guess what? Turkey will be monitoring this agreement.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That I believe.
Now, the truth
Whose
is,
side is he on anyway?
that's hard to tell, but he is pushing for peace. He's the only one in NATO that is pushing for peace. So you got to give him props.
In certain places he is.
Yeah. Now, the truth is that Ukraine has been exporting most of its wheat already, but not by sea, but through rail through Romania. Russia has not been bombing the railroad lines that go to Romania for the wheat. And Russia has already started exporting grains from Mariupol, the port that they control on the Azov Sea. So even General Lloyd and Miley have stated the main problem is the Ukrainian mines, not the Russian blockade. But everybody is saying it's Russia's blockade. They're not going to give it up. Samantha Powers, you know who she is.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's married to a Jewish neocon, even though she's Irish American, poor thing. But she released
I
a
feel
video.
your empathy.
Yeah. She did a video supposedly released from the Horn of Africa someplace. Could have been anywhere. Could have been Nebraska, I guess. But she will blame it on Russia, Russia, Russia. That's all they're going to keep saying. It's the Russian blockade when it never was. And then the agreement has a clause that Russia will not attack the Ukrainian grain port for 120 days. So then a couple of Russian rockets hit the port with minimal damage, except for some military targets. And Ukraine immediately claimed that Russia broke the agreement, but Russia had to come back and say, look at the wording. It just says we're not going to attack the grain port in Odessa, but military targets are still good. So,
And that's what happened.
yep. The removal of EU sanctions is far more significant for global food stability than the Russia exports far more grain than Ukraine, and this will allow Russia to export more. You know, all the big deal about Ukraine, but Ukraine actually only produces 1% of the global, wheat supply. It's way exaggerated.
This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm.
That was good. So then you noticed that New York City put out that PSA about hiding indoors.
I did, yeah.
Putting radioactive clothing in a hefty bag if we attack.
That'll work.
Yeah, that'll work. I mean, the easiest thing is to just stop poking the bear, but they're not going to do that.
That never dawns on them.
No.
That's how they got into the mess in the first place.
Right.
Are we the baddie?
Yeah. I think it's pretty clear we are.
Yeah.
Mind our own business.
Okay, so when Biden says he might send more multiple rocket systems that can reach 300 kilometers to Ukraine, Putin said, don't do it. The next day he did it. So, but Ukraine will promise not to use them on Russian territory. However, Ukraine does not recognize Crimea as Russian territory. So Sergei Lavrov responded by simply saying, okay, you're going to do that? We'll
take
just
them out.
take more territory to 300 kilometers
Yeah.
away from Russian
And
territory.
didn't he take 100 of those things out?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
I mean, you
being
knew
taken
that
out.
was going to happen.
Yes, exactly.
How are you going to get those things through and not have them see them?
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. Did you hear about the Zelensky photo shoot? Photo shoot?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Are you shy? Don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back to Talking Truth to Power. I'm Brendan Trainor, my co-host Leland Faegre. Now, Ukraine is still in the news, and in a
They
very
are?
bad way. Yeah, Zelensky sends a message to the United States to censor U.S. citizens. Senator Rand Paul,
Uh-huh.
Professor John Mearsheimer, the realist, Glenn Greenwald, Tulsi Gabbard, and others.
How come we didn't make it on that
Yeah,
list?
Say what?
I'm disappointed.
Yeah. So, that will probably go over like a lead balloon, hopefully, because I think America still has a First Amendment. Last time I checked.
At least in paper.
In paper.
It's on
yeah.
papyrus somewhere. But, we're right there.
I know we are.
From the outset, we said this was a sham of a war, that we had provoked the war, etc. So we should be on that list.
Exactly. And
So I'm really disappointed.
maybe if we
Nope.
maybe if we work really hard, we can get on the list.
Maybe we'll have to step up a little bit.
Meanwhile, unfortunately, Europe does not have a written First Amendment. So we find in Germany they have censored a reporter, Alina Lipp, criminally. I'm not familiar with their work. I think she's a print reporter. I don't know if she produces videos, but she is actually going to have to go to trial in a star chamber type situation, like they're going to try to do to Julian Assange if they get him over here, where she won't be able to present evidence or question the facts.
Show
And,
trials are becoming popular.
yes,
It's a trend.
yeah, she could face 3 years in prison for reporting. And the United Kingdom has sanctioned without trial or notice. It just happened last night. I just woke up to the videos. There's a vlogger. He's a United Kingdom citizen. He's an English citizen named Graham Phillips, but he also lived in Luhansk, one of the twin cities. And he is doing reports, and he is taking the side of the people in Luhansk. He's interviewing them and showing how happy they are to be freed from the Nazis. So
It just sounds so funny.
I know. I haven't seen it confirmed, but after he's been sanctioned, I mean, he's right on the sanction list that the British government puts out against countries and things like that. He likely will have his bank accounts and property seized for producing videos in the Ukraine.
So much for the
free press, yeah.
You know the thing.
So much for the unwritten constitution in England, I guess. So the collective West, we're becoming more totalitarian than Russia or China, but without the benefits.
Yeah.
We don't have the economic freedom anymore that Russia and China has.
They're just suggestions.
Yeah. The Bill of Rights, it's really
Just a suggestion.
It's a list of duties and responsibilities. It's not really.
We're changing people's lives.
Yeah, you are.
Burns, the head of the CIA, now he was formerly ambassador to Russia under Obama, so he's considered the adult in the room of the adults, replaced Trump. he says definitely that Putin is not ill. In fact, he's just too healthy. The CIA put Russian killed in action at 15,000. He did not mention the Ukrainian casualties, but according to the reports that we're getting from knowledgeable sources and the meat grinder in the Donbass, Ukraine casualties must start at least 70,000 and go north of that. And then you have to figure 3 times as many wounded for each country. But Colonel McGregor says Russia has withdrawn 75% of its regular Russian forces from
I
Ukraine
saw that. Yeah.
for rest and recuperation.
Mhm.
The fighting is now done primarily by the Donbass militias themselves, Chechen irregulars, because they just love the action, and
Try
Wagner,
to keep them away.
yeah, and Wagner contractors, with Russians mostly serving on artillery and air power and support. So, and anyway, Russia was always willing to take more casualties than America does because they don't demand complete air superiority before they commit to their ground troops. But they only send in their military after an artillery barrage, really softens up the opposition. Except occasionally when they have to go street by street, such as in Mariupol. So that's the difference. I mean, we destroy the cities to the ground, like in Raqqa and what was Aleppo. Well, we didn't. Russia did not destroy Aleppo, but in Iraq, Mosul, and the first big one in Iraq, Fallujah, I think.
Fallujah, yeah, that was one of the biggest battles there.
When we just go in and flatten the cities, civilians be darned, we don't care. But Russia is actually willing to take more casualties than we are, but their artillery is just so superior, and they're not running out of missiles.
This was a brilliant idea to provoke Putin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We're changing people's lives.
Genius. The cost is just unbelievable.
Russia's just a gas station with nukes.
And
they should collapse immediately.
That's right. I forgot that.
These people are not strategic thinkers.
We're led by insane people.
They're totally ideologically insane.
Yeah.
Inconceivable.
It is inconceivable.
Yes.
How did they get there?
Well, they got there by being sufficiently woke to get the elites to vote them in. That's what it is.
Get a big giant mirror and show them themselves.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. There is no. Putin is not Hitler. He's more like Bismarck in the 19th century, and that's what Professor Mearsheimer calls him. A 19th century realist in a 21st century, ideological milieu, and they just don't know. They can't understand him.
Well, they've disparaged and they've disparaged his character for so many years.
Oh yeah,
because they have to have Russia as an enemy, not a partner, and this is the end result.
Right, and who hates Russia?
Among others, you mean?
Among others, but principally, it's the certain ethnic group that exaggerates everything bad that the Russians did when actually they were really the primary perpetrators.
Has the planet gone mad?
So, do you mean Hispanics?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Negroes?
Well, maybe in America, but not over there.
Well, maybe if our listening audience has the answer, they can call us.
Yeah. What ethnic group would actually hate Russia the most, and how would?
And did you hear Israel took shots at a Putin? What was it? A fighter jet or something last week? Did you hear?
Did
about
they?
That? Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
They're getting closer and closer to conflict.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Are we the baddie?
Yeah.
Russia is they're trying to send a message to Erdogan. You might be our buddy some of the time, but we don't want you invading. And we've seen pictures of convoys leaving the U.S. occupied part of Syria, And so it looks like we're stealing their oil because we need oil so badly now.
We do?
We're not guarding it. We're not guarding it anymore. We're just taking it.
Oh, man.
Whatever, I'll do what I want.
I hope I don't have to move down to warmer climates. I came up here to get away from warmer climates.
Yeah.
but-
Where would you go if a nuke? Well, you wouldn't have any time to move.
well,
or
that's just
anything.
it. Yeah. You would
Yeah. I mean, but where could you go?
go into escrow now and just wait for it.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
It's a good point.
And we've been on Russia's back since Putin came into office and kicked the oligarchs out. People like Bill Browder and Browder's grandfather was Gus Browder, the head of the Communist Party.
Right.
But he's a hero in Britain now. He's always on the BBC.
Is he?
Yeah, all the time.
That's something.
Yeah. And, it's just depressing.
It's in the interest of diversity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Diversity, inclusion, and equity.
Right.
DIE.
Yeah.
DIE.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Nope, we're not.
So I think we should talk a little bit about China when we come back from the break. And
There is a lot to discuss there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
But did you know that the election fraud is becoming more of concern? Apparently, the Cass and Alcona County GOP in Michigan has voted to rescind the 2020 presidential election. And they've joined the Texas GOP, the Maricopa County GOP in Arizona, and the Montana GOP, among other Wisconsin counties.
Wow.
So it's really heating up.
Maybe we could
That January 6th committee's got some work to do.
Yeah. Maybe we could talk about a little bit about the latest gun control measure in Congress and how Jerry Nadler got trapped into admitting it was unconstitutional.
If we have the time, we should definitely do that.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back to Talking Truth to Power. And as we mentioned, the Congress is considering a ban on assault weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And a sharp American,
Freudian.
yeah, Freudian, an American GOP representative, and I meant to take down his name. I apologize, but he questioned Jerry Nadler, who is the head of the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Jerry has a Jewish mind, as Brett Stevens once called it. And so he should have known that he was falling into a trap, but he just walked right into it.
But he's not smart enough.
No.
He doesn't get that stuff.
No. And he obviously didn't read the Supreme Court decision.
He doesn't read anything, does he?
No.
I think he just goes to the refrigerator.
But or he has a Shabbos goy go to the refrigerator
For him.
Yeah, for him. But anyway, the representative told him that this ban is going to ban guns that are in common use in America. And Nadler said, "I know that. That's the purpose." And then he just led him further into the trap. He said, "So you're saying that this ban is going to ban guns that are in common use in America?" And Sicilione, the the Gentile
Right.
sponsor of the bill, he was raising his hand trying to say, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman. And Nadler didn't recognize him. He said, yes, that's the purpose of the bill. And, that's a very important phrase, common use.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it even goes back before Heller. Scalia didn't write that phrase. Way back in the 1920s, when they banned sawed-off shotguns, the Supreme Court upheld it as constitutional because they said sawed-off shotguns are not in common use.
I see. Yeah.
Regular shotguns are, but not sawed-off shotguns.
Uh-huh.
So they allowed the ban on sawed-off shotguns. And then in both Heller and Gruen, the Supreme Court both times said that you cannot ban weapons that are in common use in society.
Well, the workforce it would take to go door to door to confiscate those things.
Yeah. They'll try to
There's
say
nothing-
that they're grandfathered in, but they'll figure out ways to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus will come back first.
This is about the future of the liberal world order,
Yeah,
and we
I
have
guess
to stand firm.
Exactly.
Well, they want those guns. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
that's for sure. So I don't know. They were supposed to vote on it in the Senate. Lee, have you seen anything?
I have not.
Okay.
I think the vote was imminent, wasn't it?
Yes.
Mhm.
I do believe that they will.
They'll
shoot
get
it
enough
down.
Republicans. They'll get
Yeah.
Romney, and
Yeah.
I mean, we've been here before. In early 2000, we had a similar bill,
Right.
Yeah, and it
really-
sunsetted out, I think.
Yeah, it didn't do any good.
Didn't do any good.
And it cost the Democrats some election time.
Yeah, right.
I mean, didn't Al Gore run on gun control?
Say what?
And climate change.
He didn't. He lost in Tennessee, by the way,
Yeah, that's a good point.
running on
Yeah.
gun control. So, and well, okay. So we preserved the Second Amendment here, Lee.
Yeah.
But now we have to take a notice of what's going on with China, because China's been in the news a lot.
And so has the Speaker of the House.
Yes. She wants to fly over to Taiwan, and the people in the Biden White House are trying to discourage her from doing it.
That's the pretense, but I think she's acting on China's behalf.
You do? Yeah, she could very well be.
Scientifically possible!
What is your theory of the move?
Well, it gives China a pretense for an accelerated military endeavor of some sort to ratchet up their position on the Taiwan Straits.
Yeah, so they say it could be, in fact, they could take military action, whatever that means.
It would give them the opportunity to do so. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Who's the last official from the United States who's been there? Gingrich, I think.
yeah, but Pompeo wants to jump on
Right.
board too.
Right.
I mean, there's nobody, I think, no American is more hated in China, much more so than Trump himself, is Pompeo, because he continually lies. Every time he talks about China, it's a lie. So he's gonna get on the plane, maybe, if they decide to go.
I don't see that happening. I don't see them sharing a plane. But
I know, but anyway,
well, the problem is, let's just be honest about it. This is because Kissinger invited China, Mao and Zhou, into the New World Order, and they thought they would become a benign commercial part of the grand design where we could send our fruits and labor to a low-wage economy and build products that served our interest.
yeah, but
How'd that go for them?
I think China is just doing what America did in the 19th century.
Right.
I mean, really.
But they're belligerent. We were not.
Why are they belligerent?
Why is China belligerent?
Yeah.
They've murdered 60 million of their own people.
Well, that was
That was then?
under Mao. They're not murdering anybody.
This is the legacy of Mao. It's no different. Just because they've got nicer suits, it's no different.
Why do you say?
Inconceivable!
No, we just disagree on this. I mean, I don't see
Yeah.
China as a benefactor of the global design.
I think they just want to sell
They just wanted-
quality products at
well,
reasonable prices.
We wanted cheap labor. Is what we wanted. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's natural. I mean, you're gonna face the facts of capitalism, or
For
you're
the
not.
same reason that the illegals are here.
Yeah,
For
but
the cheap labor.
cheap labor. Yeah, but the thing is that there are ways to deal with that, and
Such as?
Well, by focusing on ourselves and not worrying about China. If
Well,
we're driving them out.
We have a lot to do with this problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the financialization of America. I mean, after World War I, we stopped being such an industrial country
But
that
the point
we were.
but the point I'm trying to make is we should have been more preeminent about this outcome. And they had no consideration of this possibility at the time. And now we're here.
China and Russia were enemies at the time.
Right.
Now we forced them together.
Now we forced them into their own arms.
But China does have a debt crisis.
Did you see China was going to deploy troops in Russia this week, I think? As part of their,
a military exercise.
Yeah, military exercises.
Yeah, well, they're doing
That's how close they are.
They're sharing equipment.
Right.
Russia is teaching them more about hypersonic missiles. They're teaching Russia more about ships, and
because the purpose is to so alter the rest of the world that it can be comfortably merged with the United States.
It comes I don't know about that grand design, but I do know that what it's doing is that it's they're out to what they call a fair New Deal, or a fair deal, instead of a new world order. That's a fair world order, and they're saying that they're going to help these third world countries. I mean, when the IMF goes into these countries, the countries are in debt. They have either because of their own internal problems, lack of productivity, whatever.
Well, it's been pushed on them too. Yeah.
Yeah, or they've been forced into it. And then the IMF gives them loans to cover their debt, but doesn't do anything about the underlying causes.
Right. And it's all financed by you and I.
Yeah,
the
you and I.
supports the loans.
We choose truth over facts.
So we're indebted.
And it's all the international banksters, the World Bank and everything else. So,
and that ethnicity is, I'm trying to think now what their general ethnicity is. The banksters.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to think of.
Hispanics?
Maybe Italian.
Shut up and take my money.
Could be Italian.
Yeah. So the thing is that the IMF, then if they still, because they didn't address their underlying problems, they're going to get into debt again. And then the IMF or one of its subsidiaries, like major international hedge funds, who also happen to be run primarily by this mysterious... They come in and enforce the lower the boom on these countries. They enforce austerity. They have corrupt types of privatization, where oligarchs, become entrenched in power, and they become more powerful than the government, and the people suffer.
So you're saying oligarchs become entrenched in power?
Yeah, like in America.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
I meant Russia.
Oh, okay. A lot of people make that mistake.
Yeah, I know. And then another thing that's going on is, in China, we keep trying to blame them for what we're doing. We keep trying to say there's a debt trap. Don't take Chinese money. It's a debt trap. But the people in the global south are not believing it. There's very little evidence that China is systematically trying to get these countries into debt.
But there's a story this morning that they tried to infiltrate the Federal Reserve.
The Chinese?
Did you see that? Yeah.
Oh.
And Jerome Powell has responded by saying he would take that very seriously if that were the case. Yeah. But he sort of downplays the allegation.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder. I mean, this is what they do.
Well, we'll have to get Charlie Chan on the case.
Well, he'd have the answer if the answers are out there.
So
it's not Charlie Chang, is it? It's
Charlie Chan.
Oh, Charlie Chan.
The old old 40s, serial.
Right.
The detective. But
I'm weak on that television thing. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many in the audience remembers Charlie Chan either, but they're not as old as I am.
Black and white.
Excuse me. So, but the point is that that's what we do, and anybody that's that looks into this in depth sees it. We deny and project. We project our own strategies onto the other people, and that's the death spiral that we're going through. And who knows what'll happen when they realize that the jig is up. More and more, like I said, at the end of August, when they see people celebrating in the streets because they're liberated by Russia, what will we do?
Well, they'll keep printing money, that's for sure. You know what's exciting is that Carrie Lake in Arizona, gubernatorial candidate, she's now in double-digit lead over Pence, of course, final challenge.
Yay!
Yeah, pretty exciting. And stay tuned for Eddie Floyd.
All right.
For
The
America
leader of
Matters.
the free world.